Oh, wow. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. I wasn't expecting that one. Welcome to another episode of The Wave, our weekly Netflix news show, and other stuff that we want to talk about. My
I'm
name's
Nick.
Adam.
Thought I'd sneak in before you. I think I just made it.
Just about. How you doing, Nick?
Pretty good.
Good.
I've got a beer.
Well, that's good.
I've got a new pair of headphones.
Oh, did you get some?
Yeah, as the last pair were literally hanging off on
Threadbare.
one side. Yeah. So they're pleasingly retro in their look. So,
That's good. I look forward to seeing them next week.
okay, deal.
So we can get back together next week.
Yeah, that's exciting.
The first time in a very long time. I'm excited. Can't wait to get you back in the stream boat.
Me too. If you'll lower the gangplank to let me on, that'll be excellent.
I've already got the champagne ready.
Okay.
So last week we talked about our birthdays were in the future, but also the past at the same time. But now they're most definitely in the past. How was your birthday?
I had a very good weekend. Partly
Good.
Dodging the showers whilst trying to barbecue and
I had a wet barbecue as well.
and entertain the governmentally allowed number of people. And yeah, it was fun.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I noticed you got your nipples out on Instagram. That's always nice.
Yes, that's true.
It's been a long time since I've seen those.
Yeah, it's usually DMs only.
I opened my Instagram. I was like, oh, there's Nick's nipples. They weren't just his nipples. His whole body was there.
Yeah, well, not the whole thing.
Not the top half. Keep it PG, Nick. Keep it PG.
Yeah, exactly.
How was the hot tub?
Lovely.
Yeah,
It's gone now. It got disassembled this afternoon and taken away.
Oh, gutted.
But
You're not making it a permanent feature then?
I mean, I like the idea.
Ooh, you're not dead against it.
And it was like, because I went out and did some exercise yesterday evening,
Yeah.
and then when I got home, I went in the hot tub and it was really nice because I'm now old and it hurts after I've done running and things like that. It was really nice to get in that afterwards.
So you're not ruling it out? Is that what you're telling me?
The short of it is, I don't know if I can be bothered to do all the maintenance that's required to keep it on a full-time basis.
You have to weigh up the pros and cons, I guess.
Sure. Plus, I'm not sure where I'd put it.
True, yeah, because it wasn't really
where
practical where you had it, was it?
Where we had it this weekend was fine on the patio, but that's where my shed's going, so I'm not really sure where we'd put a hot tub.
How are we looking on Instagram Live shed building?
It has now arrived. It's stacked. It turned up actually on my birthday, so
Oh, nice birthday present.
I had to move a whole shed at about 8 o'clock at night on my birthday.
Oh, you should have rang me. I'd have come round.
It's all in small pieces, so it was fine.
Okay.
I think it's probably going to be the weekend after next because
Nice.
I've got a few things on this weekend, so I don't think it's going to be a goer this weekend.
Just let me know and I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll keep everyone updated.
Yeah, shed watch. Keep your eyes on the Instagram. Other than birthday, then how's life? All good.
Yeah, good. I had my vaccine today, so that was exciting.
God, you are getting old.
I know.
Mine is booked as well for 2 weeks tomorrow.
I barely snuck in, and everyone kept telling me happy birthday. It was 2 days ago. Yeah, it was. Thanks.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, it was good. It was fine. Absolutely fine. I'm feeling good. I'm raring to go. Ready to talk movies. How about you? How was your weekend/week?
Yeah, it was good. A bit rainy on my birthday, but it was all right. We made the most of it. And then the pizza oven has been fired up and has made pizza, and I really enjoyed using that. So I will definitely be doing more of that.
Excellent. Can't wait to try my first pizza.
I've just ordered a bread maker as well.
Okay.
I'm going all doughy and not just in looks.
Master of the baked goods.
That's me. Harrison will kill me for ordering a bread maker. He's a traditionalist, but I'm too lazy to do it. Right, have you got any Netflix news?
Sure. Let's dive right in. And I will start with one that just actually this afternoon was confirmed. Enola Holmes 2 is coming to Netflix. It has been announced
Excellent.
today.
I wasn't sure if they'd just been that series off, because they had a lot of issues with the estate and what have you, didn't they?
Yes.
And then I don't think the film was as successful as they wanted it to be. But no, that's good if they've confirmed a sequel. Enola Holmes was good. I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was good. Yeah. Same writer, directors are reuniting for it. So, yeah, they're good to go.
Excellent. Good news.
I know I shouldn't have bought a beer.
You okay?
Yeah, fine.
Good.
Go on.
Do you want me to do one?
Yeah, go for it.
I've only got a couple of quick ones. The Jay and Silent Bob reboot is coming to Netflix.
Oh, the movie?
The movie.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, it was... when you have the Netflix screensaver comes on your TV?
Yes.
It just came up on that. And I was like, I had no idea that was coming. I hadn't read anything, I hadn't heard anything. And, yeah, it was up on the old screensaver. It's coming on the 20th of May as well.
Oh, that's extremely
very soon. Yeah. So I've been wanting to watch that since it came out, because when I was younger, I was well into those Jay and Silent Bob films. I think you were as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think everybody was at that time, like late 90s. But yeah, it's coming. So that's good news. I'm excited.
Because it only had a limited cinematic release, didn't it? Was it just before the pandemic?
Yeah, I think so.
And Kevin Smith was almost like touring with it, wasn't he? So
he did. He toured it. Yeah, he was doing like live shows.
And then showed the movie. And then it obviously went on to whichever on-demand service. But yeah, that's cool that that's been picked up.
Yeah, it is really cool. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to watching it. I've not heard good things about it, but it'll be nice. Bit of nostalgia.
Almost doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly. Excellent. You got any more?
Cool. Yeah. So I will go with The Chair. The Chair is coming
What's The Chair?
to Netflix. It's the first show. It's the first post Game of Thrones show from David Benioff and DB Weiss.
Right. Okay.
And it's going to start on Netflix on Friday, August the 27th.
Oh, that's quite a long way away still, but that's cool. What's it about?
It stars Sandra Oh, who has obviously been on this show before.
She is a Bottom of the Stream alum, that is true.
She plays... It looks like it's kind of sitcom-y. She plays Professor Ji-yoon Kim, the first female and woman of colour hired as the head of Pembroke University's English department. Basically, it looks like she's sent in to sort of save this school that's a sinking ship. Other than that, there's not too much known about it.
Have we mentioned it before?
Yes, I think you've mentioned it before. As in,
it sounds familiar.
This is the first show that these guys are going to do.
Oh, because we did a list of stuff that they were working on a while back, didn't we? Excellent.
Jay Duplass is in it.
Nice, cool.
Bob Balaban, which I always love saying.
Gotta love Bob Balaban. Bob Balaban.
Yeah, they've announced it by releasing a fake student newspaper, and the headline is that this professor's joining the school.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Look forward to that.
It says a confidential source tells the Pembroke Daily that enrolments are down and Professor Kim's appointment could be the last ditch effort to save our sinking ship. Time will tell. She begins her new role on August the 27th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. That'd be good.
Bit of a tease. There you go.
Love a bit of a tease. Keep going.
Do you like Norway?
I've never been, but I'd love to go.
Oh, me too. I'd love to
cool.
Go and have a walk around the fjords.
I'd like to have a cruise around the fjords. I think that'd be nice. I feel like my parents have done that.
Netflix has ordered a Norwegian comedy sci-fi film about UFOs. And I think this will be right up your street. It's called Blasted.
Oh, okay.
And I think we might have a delay. I'm just going to carry on.
Okay.
And it follows two childhood friends named Sebastian and Mikkel. They reunite for Sebastian's bachelor party. Mikkel never matured past teenage laser tag player, whilst Sebastian is a career-obsessed workaholic.
Oh, sounds interesting.
However, The bachelor party stumbles headfirst into an alien invasion, and it's up to Mikkel and Sebastian to reunite as the kick-ass laser tag duo they once were to fight back against the alien invaders.
That sounded awesome even before you mentioned the alien bit, and now it sounds even more awesome.
Blasted will release globally on Netflix in 2022.
Excellent. I will get that on my wait for this list. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It does. Did you ever see Lupin? The first
I did, yes.
part. The second part's coming.
When? Excuse me.
We have a trailer. Have you seen the trailer?
I haven't, no.
We have a trailer, and it's coming on June the 11th, according to this trailer, which is pretty soon.
I certainly think that the whole thing's been in the bag all at once, and they just, once they thought they had a hit on their hand, Netflix cannily split the two, I think.
I will 100% agree with that. I think you're right. I think that makes the most sense. Because it was an odd number of episodes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it's coming June the 11th. There's a trailer out there now on Netflix's YouTube channel if you want to check it out.
I will do that once we're finished.
Okay, do that.
Do you like horror movies?
You know I love horror movies. Of course I do, yes.
Do you like one half of the Russo brothers?
That depends which half.
It's Joe.
Yeah, I do like Joe Russo. I've got no issue with the other half either, to be fair.
Good, because he has co-written a screenplay, and Netflix have commissioned the movie from the screenplay. It is a horror movie called, rather catchily, The Last Will and Testament of Charles Abernathy.
More. Sounds interesting.
Charles Abernathy will be played by Bob Gunton, who you probably most know from being the warden in The Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
And the movie follows billionaire Charles Abernathy, who on the eve of his 75th birthday invites his 4 estranged children back home out of fear that tonight someone or something is coming to kill him.
Ooh.
To ensure his family will help protect him from whatever's coming, Abernathy puts each of their inheritances on the line. They will get nothing if he is found dead by dawn.
That sounds really good. I'm interested by that.
It sounds cool.
It does sound cool. I'm up for that one. When's that coming? Do we know? Or they're still casting?
I mean, there are a few other people that have been casting it. Peyton List, that's a name I know. Not familiar with any of these other guys, but yeah. So it was literally announced this week.
So we're going to be waiting a while
Netflix,
for it, but it does sound good.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty neat concept, I thought.
Yeah, agreed. Got any more?
Back to you. I've got one more.
To me, have I got any more? I don't know if I've got any more.
I can keep going. The new Sony Animation Studios movie, Wish Dragon, is coming straight to Netflix. It has been announced.
Okay.
It is yet another movie that is eschewing a cinematic release. I will now go straight to Netflix on Friday, June the 11th.
Same day as Lupin.
Yeah. Featuring John Cho as the voice of a wish-granting dragon named Long.
Excellent. Sounds good.
It's already been out cinematically in China.
Oh.
Where it did quite good business, apparently. But for the rest of the world, Netflix have got the rights. So
cool.
Yeah. The synopsis is: Din, a working class college student with big dreams but small means, and Long, a cynical but all-powerful dragon capable of granting wishes, set off on a hilarious adventure through modern-day Shanghai in pursuit of Din's long-lost childhood friend.
Excellent. That sounds quite good.
Yeah, so John Cho's voicing this, the dragon for the English version. The Mandarin version, it was voiced by Jackie Chan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, yeah.
Just get him to do it in English as well.
Well, yeah.
He's already in the booth. Simple.
Double the pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, June the 11th, that will arrive.
Excellent. June the 11th, shaping up to be a good day so far. Do you have any more?
One more quick one. We talked a couple of weeks ago about the Knives Out deal.
Yep.
Between Ryan Johnson and Netflix. This week, it's been confirmed that Dave Bautista will join the cast for the sequel, the first sequel, at least.
Dave Bautista, that's an interesting casting. I think Ed Norton's joined the cast as well this week, I've read.
Yes, that came out as well. So, yeah that is shaping up.
Getting
already.
another ensemble cast, same as the first one. It sounds like it's going to be loosely connected, but not connected.
Yeah.
It's going to have a very different cast, but I think Daniel Craig's returning, isn't he?
I believe so.
I wonder if he's going to bring that accent back. I suppose he's going to have to.
Yeah.
The only other thing I've got is this week's Netflix release seems quite good. You know, they're releasing a film a week.
Yes.
This one seems quite good. This week, Oxygen has been released.
Okay, yeah.
Oxygen is a French movie. Have you ever seen Buried with Ryan Reynolds?
I have.
What did you think of it?
It was fine.
I quite liked it. I went to cinema to see it with a few other people, and all of them hated it. But I thought it was all right. And this seems to have a very similar concept. So Oxygen is a French movie about a lady who wakes up in a stasis chamber, but it doesn't unlock for her. So she's locked in.
I believe she's lost her memory.
Yes, and she has amnesia. Obviously, I was going to say there's a trailer out there if you want to go and watch it. Obviously, there's a trailer out because the film's out. It released on Netflix yesterday as we record. So I will check that out over this weekend, and we'll report back in next week's wave.
Sure.
Is that all the news done?
The news sack is empty.
The news sack is empty because just minutes before we started recording tonight, we said what we'll do is we'll start by talking about last week's film, then we'll do the news. Yeah. And we didn't talk about last week's film, so should we do a quick roundup of last week's film?
Yeah, let's do it.
So what did we watch last week, Nick?
So on last week's movie show, we watched a film called After. Yes. You can find our movie show every Thursday on this very same feed.
Exactly the same feed. After was a wildcard pick by one of our Patreons. And after we recorded the episode, we realised that we'd forgotten to read out his thoughts on the film. So we thought we'd do it in this week's wave. Yeah?
Good plan.
So Sam sent me an email, or sent the bottom of the stream email account, bottomofthestream@gmail.com, an email, about his thoughts of After. He starts it with the term unlikable characters. Agree with that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, yeah.
So
this definitely came up, didn't it, several times in our conversation.
He starts off, he takes a swipe at Hardin, who was the main male character, calls him a truly awful cookie cutter bad guy, complete with leather jacket, displays signs of gaslighting, manipulative behaviour, victim blaming, possibly psychopathic, sociopathic tendencies, and loves... And that's what he says about Hardin. So he really didn't like Hardin.
Look, that's nail on the head. I mean, I think you put it quite well as well in our episode where he was just a robot.
Yeah, it was robotic. He wasn't human.
A real human.
No. He didn't like Molly, who was the girl with the pink hair, apparently. She said she was just jealous of Tessa, just wanted to be a dick. I think she was in love with Hardin. I think that was her motives behind it.
Yes, it was very clumsily not expressed, was it? Really?
No.
This was, again, we said at the time, but it was very clunky, the script. I mean, it was a terrible film, let's not kid ourselves.
And then he's put Tessa forgives him at the end, completely ruining what little character development she had. Which I think is also fair.
Yeah, totally, because I think I did give a little bit of praise at the start of the movie where she actually stood up to this guy. Yeah, she was treated terribly, and then that was all thrown away in the last minute of the film. Yeah. When he creepily came out of the woods to sit next to her.
Then his next sentence is to give it a little bit of credit, and I think he's given it far too much credit here. He's put, Hardin is constantly wearing black to signify a bad guy. Tessa is almost exclusively in white, signifying good. I don't think they thought about it that hard.
No, I think...
I think it's just that bad guys wear black.
Yeah, I don't... I mean, it's not exactly subtle subtext, is it? So no. I think that's absolutely what they were going for, to be fair.
I don't think they were that intelligent. And then he's put, promotes the neckbeard analogy that nice guys finish last. I love that, neckbeard analogy.
It's true.
As a nice boyfriend and token black guy, don't do anything, and she ends up with Hardin anyway.
Yeah.
Sequel baiting at the end. We know there was sequel baiting at the end because there's going to be 4 sequels to it at least. But he has concluded with, whilst based on a Harry Styles fanfiction, I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Apparently, they've toned down the worst behaviours from the book.
And that's because, again, we touched on this. It's not got
it's rated
a high
at 12.
enough age rating for him to be that much of a bad guy.
He seems to have. I don't know if he's read the book, but he has told us something that happens in the book. I'm really glad it didn't happen in the film.
Okay.
He's put Hardin keeps the bloody bedsheets after taking Tessa's virginity as a token, much like a serial killer would, and then shows them to his friends.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's a psychopath, clearly.
Clearly. So, that's how he's chosen to finish that. I'm glad that didn't happen in the film. That's rank. So, I think after is going to be... I mean, it wasn't as bad as Temple, and the String Table reflects that. But I think it's going to be one of those forgettable films that we won't talk about much going forward.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. Like I said, the only thing that possibly saved it was quite fun to just pick it apart. So,
that's what we like doing.
No, there's no way I'm going back to see any of the subsequent movies on that one.
No, not me.
But do check out our episode because we had a lot of fun talking about it.
We did, yeah. I should probably do some admin and apologise for the audio quality on that episode. And both episodes last week. I don't know what happened with my microphone. It seems to be okay now. And as of next week, we'll be back in the same room anyway, so it shouldn't happen again. But just bear with us while we're doing these social distance recordings, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it wasn't quite as clear as usual. But these things happen.
And there's no way of knowing until the recording's over. It could be happening again now and I wouldn't know. I'm just hopeful that it hasn't.
So check out our episode from last week on After, and then this Thursday you can find us again talking about this week's movie, which is called Urge.
Yes, it's a drug movie
starring Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to talk about. This one,
I can't wait.
I'm excited to talk to you about this film.
A load of. Well, I was going to say young, but they're not that young.
No.
Rich people partying, I guess.
Yeah, to a new designer drug, and chaos ensues. But yeah,
stuff
it's going to be stuff definitely happens. It's going to be a fun one. So yeah, that'll be out on the Thursday following this episode, or which is otherwise known as Thursday. And check it out when it hits the stream on Thursday.
Yeah, it's starting to build up the stream table now, so... interesting to see where that
episode
fits
5,
in.
Isn't it already?
Indeed.
Excellent. Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream this week?
No.
Okay, moving on.
I've barely watched anything. Like I said, I've been so busy with life and birthdays and
that weekend's always chaos, isn't it? And even more so this year because we couldn't see everybody at the same time. We had to.
Shifts.
I think I had about 4 birthday parties in 2 days.
I know. I literally had to give out times. Yeah. You arrive
time
here,
slots.
those people can leave there.
Yeah. We'll go out we literally went out the back door as your parents came in the front door.
I know. Military precision, tell you.
It's all going to be over soon. The only thing I've watched, I started and finished Jupiter's Legacy.
Oh, that's good going.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
6?
8.
8, okay.
They're very oddly paced episodes, so the majority of them are 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
Episode 7 is 55 minutes. And then the finale goes back to 35 again. Why they didn't just make it 9, I don't know. But it's very oddly paced. So somewhere between 30 and 40 normally, and then that one, for some reason, is 53 minutes long. But
what did you think?
Excellent. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to see where Netflix are taking this new superhero universe. They built up some good characters there, and there's potential. There's real potential for a good.
So is this intended to be a one and done, or will other things spin off it, or will there be a second season of this?
Well, it's the way they're marketing it is the beginning of their superhero universe.
Yes.
So who knows? Genuinely, who knows? I hope it isn't one and done, because that story for that show could go on and on and on and on, because it is it's a superhero origin story, which we've seen hundreds of times before, but it's different. And
Okay.
it's set over 2 timelines. So it tells the story of how they got there. There's like 6 superheroes in it, or the original Union. I think they call themselves the Union. And it's the one timeline tells the story of how they got their powers. And then in the other timeline, like further ahead in the future, they're all getting old. And so they're starting to want to pass their powers down to their children, and their children are starting to take over.
Sounds like a bit of a...
set over 2 time periods. It's very much a cross between Watchmen and The Boys.
Yeah. Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. That would be a very different thing.
I'd watch that crossover.
It's nowhere near as gory as The Boys was on Amazon Prime, but
okay,
it has a very dark feel like Watchmen did. But at the same time, it's also not very superhero-y. It's more about their alter egos than the actual superheroes. It's life stories.
I'm definitely going to check it out.
It's brilliant.
Like it's been a busy week, but I'll get to it.
I can't rave enough about it. I really enjoyed it. And I'm really intrigued to see where they're going to go with it next. I've always had a soft spot for Josh Duhamel, and I think he nailed it. I think he absolutely nailed it.
So is that the reason you watched all those Transformers movies?
Maybe not those. But yeah, check it out. Honestly, it's really good, and it's really interesting to see where Netflix will end up going with it.
Excellent. Strong recommendation.
Strong. Best TV show I've seen in a long time. On Netflix. That's it, though. That's all I've watched.
That's fine.
Do we want to quickly run through the Netflix top 10? We've not done that
why
for a
not?
while.
I've not done that for ages.
No. So, currently at number 10 on Netflix is The Mitchells versus the Machines.
I'm surprised that's not higher.
Yeah, it's been a strong week on Netflix, though, hasn't it? There's quite a few bits come out. I nearly turned it on at the weekend, and then I looked, and it's 2 hours long. I wasn't expecting it to be that long, and I didn't have that much time. So, I will definitely check that out at some point. But
okay.
Another recent addition to Netflix, but not a new film, is Baby Driver. Is at number 9.
Yep.
It's got Spacey in, so we probably shouldn't talk about it.
Well, and who's the guy starting it? He's not exactly covered himself in glory either.
Ansel
I can't remember his name. Yeah.
Ansel Elgort. Yeah, so we'll briefly skip over that. Don't watch Baby Driver's a good film, but don't watch it. Motherland is at number 9. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a TV show. The second series, I believe, has just dropped onto Netflix. A group of mothers and stay-at-home dads struggle to juggle childcare with self-care as they experience the thrills and trials of parenthood. Have you seen it?
I've seen a few episodes of the first series. It's quite fun. Yeah, it's quite funny.
Excellent. Well, there's 2 series.
I don't know the lady's name, but the main lady in it has also been in this series of Line of Duty, which has just finished on and been a really big thing on TV over here. It's like a police drama, which again, something I've never really watched. And
no, I've never watched Line of Duty. That's also
there was genuinely a bit of a storm on Twitter this week because it went a bit viral. Quite a few people had said, "Oh, I can't believe this is the same woman playing this sort of uptight, vicious police woman in Line of Duty, and then playing this harangued, a bit useless, all over the place mother in Motherland." And and equally, people just, well, that's what acting is.
That's exactly what acting is. That's what people do.
It's her job, and she's obviously quite good at it. So,
people just watch one thing though. Things like Line of Duty, people don't watch. They only watch that.
Sure. It's just people are stupid.
Sorry, I just need to grab my phone charger because I'm in the middle of reading a top 10, and if my phone dies, I won't know what the top 1 is. All right, number 7 is a TV show called Shadow and Bone.
I've seen the trailer. I've not seen the show.
Same.
I'm not sure I'll get to it.
I've decided against it. It doesn't really appeal to me. It says, dark forces conspire against orphan mapmaker Alina Starkov when she unleashes an extraordinary power that could change the fate of her war-torn world. It's one of these Netflix supernaturally type shows that they're all over.
Sure.
Number 6 is another TV show called Startup. Have you heard of Startup?
I've got no idea what that is.
It's got a cast. It's got 2 seasons. I think it's an old show that's just appeared on Netflix. It's from 2017. An attempt to launder stolen money finances a cryptocurrency that puts entrepreneurs in business with a corrupt FBI agent and a Miami gang. It stars Adam Brody, Martin Freeman, and Ron Perlman.
Oh, wow.
And Mira Sorvino.
That's actually quite intriguing.
It really is, isn't it? I've never heard of it. There's 2 seasons on Netflix. But it started in 2017, so I assume there's only 2 seasons of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, check that out. Number 5 is one of my favourite films of recent times. It's Brightburn. Is at number 5. That's appeared on Netflix this week.
Yep.
Have you seen Brightburn?
Yes.
Brilliant film.
But I think I would like to go and watch it again.
Do it. I watched it not long ago. It was on Amazon.
Okay.
And I watched it again. I've watched it 3 times now. I love it. Loving parents who adopted a child that fell from the stars in a spacecraft years ago realise that he's becoming evil and that he has superpowers. It's basically the Superman origin story, but if Superman decided to be evil instead of good.
Yeah.
Men in Black International is at number 4.
Look, it's supposed to be pretty bad, but then are any of the Men in Black films actually good apart from the first one?
The first one's good.
So
the rest of them are...
That's what I mean. So at some point, I'm sure I'll watch it. It sounds like it might be a Saturday night option.
Yeah, possibly. It's got a decent cast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson are the main characters.
Yeah.
It says, when shape-shifting aliens threaten Earth, a new recruit and a veteran MIB agent embark on a mission to save their own organisation and the world.
Same plot as all the others.
Yep. The number 3 is the documentary limited series, The Son of Sam, A Descent into Darkness. It's supposed to be excellent. So
yes, I've heard good things.
I will watch that at some point. Number 2 is The Secret Life of Pets 2 from 2019, so I assume that's just appeared on the stream.
Yeah.
And Jupiter's Legacy is at number 1, right where it belongs.
Excellent.
Awesome. What do you want to do now? Do you want to talk about Alice in Borderland?
Yes, let's extend our rods.
Let's extend the rods into Alice in Borderland. So, if you don't know, if you've not been following the show, we have started watching a TV show. Every week we'll talk about an episode on the show. And this is episode 3. We're 3 weeks in now, 3 episodes in. What did you think of episode 3 of Alice in Borderland, Nick?
I mean, it went places I wasn't expecting.
I thought it was the best one so far, personally. We're starting to develop the characters.
Yeah, I'd have it about level with last week.
Yeah, there's not much in it.
I preferred the game from last week, but obviously the emotional heft is far greater this week.
Yeah, definitely.
So we said goodbye to several of our
all of
main
them,
cast.
in theory. All but one of them, anyway.
And it was pretty brutal.
It was. It left us on a proper cliffhanger as well to see what's going. So, because the rest of the other 2 episodes have been tied up in a neat bow at the end.
Yes.
But this one wasn't, was it? He was still technically
still
in the game when the episode finished. It took all of my will to stop and not let it play the next episode.
So I'm
fully on board with the show now.
Small group of 4. Arisu is the only one left standing because
yes.
they stepped into this week's game and they were the only 4 competitors and
only one
basically played hide and seek, didn't they?
Yeah.
But the person who was on at the point of the timer running out was the only one who would remain alive.
It confused me. It was because they've kind of flipped it backwards, didn't they? Because that's not how hide and seek works.
No.
So it confused me when they were explaining it. I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then they were like, oh shit, that doesn't make any sense. And that's when they started like realising what they'd got to do. But all the way through, I was like, I wonder how they're going to get out of this one. And then they didn't. And I was like,
exactly.
Oh, wow.
Because my criticism was I thought they fell apart a bit too quick but in hindsight, I think that worked well because basically they just started arguing with each other, didn't they? And they started playing the game properly, whereas previously they've worked together to try and come to a resolution. Yeah. So I'm watching this episode all the way through thinking, this feels a bit forced, this them sort of going at each other's throats because 3 of them have been lifelong friends and, you know, like I say, they've managed their way out of the previous 2 games. But then when it sort of ended how it did and actually Arisu couldn't work a way out of it. Yeah. And they all sacrificed themselves for him.
It was quite emotional, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, there was some proper acting going on in
There
the
really
last 10
was,
minutes
yeah.
of this.
The last 10 minutes were incredible.
There was tears and snot and everything.
Yeah. And this guttural screaming he was doing at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm all in on this. You know how it comes up on Netflix, it's like, I'm about to play the next episode and you have to stop it. It took all of my power to not let it do it. It really did. I was like, I'm all in on this show now. I'm really interested to see where it's going. You know, I said in week 1 that it reminded me of Cube. And in week 2, it reminded me of Saw.
Yes.
This one was 100% Battle Royale.
Yeah, it was.
It's like they're choosing a different film every week to tease me with. This was... they even had the exploding neck collars.
Yes, and they were kind of in a jungle because they were in they were in a botanical...
Yeah, botanical gardens.
Yeah.
And they had like weapons to choose from and stuff. Yeah, it definitely was all over Battle Royale. So I mean, I'm excited to see which next film we're going to get next week.
I mean, I think my concern for it would be, is the story strong enough to maintain the momentum? Because you've had these, although I didn't really like the game the first week, the last 2 weeks they were very good, and that really propelled it forward and kept you on the edge of your seat. And
well, if we are down to one character, then the whole show is going to change from now on.
Well, he's now got a lot of days in the bank before he has to do another game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm wondering if it's going to shift slightly now.
And they've also got this beach that they need to try and get to.
Yeah,
which they explained there wasn't a beach anywhere near them. So the idea was to bank up enough days to be able to get there, wasn't it?
Yeah, try and get out of the city.
Trying to get out of the city. So yeah, I mean, I'm really, really on board with it. I'm loving it, to be fair. Can't wait for episode 4.
I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
Me too.
I'm still not quite as high on it as you, but it's
right up my street though, isn't it? You know, it's exactly the sort of thing that I really like.
Pushing your buttons for sure.
Yeah, it's 100% pushing all my buttons. So yeah, we're sticking with it then, yeah?
Oh yeah.
I'm not giving up at this point.
No.
So if anybody wants to watch along with us, come along and join us in the Discord. There's a chat room in there where we talk about it. And you're only 3 episodes behind, so catch up and get in the Discord and come and chat with us. The Discord link will be at the bottom of the show notes.
Good stuff. What's next?
You teased a new feature last week.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
You did.
Let's do that then.
Let's do that. I'm excited. What's going on, Nick?
This is our new feature, occasional feature, which we will do. Well, initially I thought maybe on slow news weeks, but we've not had any of those yet. So we'll see how it plays out. But got a few ideas for these going forward. But
cool.
This is the deep dive where we just spend a few minutes talking in a bit more depth about I kind of got the idea that it's going to be sort of stories, legends, myths from around
Hollywood
the
legends.
movie industry. Yeah, basically. And I think we've got quite an interesting one to start off with. So we're going to talk a bit about the 1996 movie, The Island of Dr Moreau.
Yep, I've never seen it. I don't really even know what it's about. So got my attention.
Originally, it's a novel from the 1800s. It's a H.G. Wells novel.
Okay.
So obviously he wrote The Time Machine, several of the very influential novels, and it's essentially about a strange guy who lives on an island who's been carrying out experiments to crossbreed humans and animals, basically. Okay. But that's the movie itself. Well, how this thing got made or nearly didn't is absolutely fascinating. I talked about it a bit on our Christmas episode with Bottom of the Burrito as one of the worst movies I've ever seen, which I stand by that. I think it's one of the only times I would have liked to have walked out of the cinema.
Oh, you went to the cinema to see it, did you?
Yeah, but I couldn't do so because I was too young to drive, so I hadn't driven there. So,
right, it's an old film.
1996.
Okay, you weren't far off being able to, and a couple of years away.
Yeah. So just a bit about the movie. So yeah, it came out in 1996. Stars Marlon Brando, Val Kilmer. What could go wrong with those two? David Thewlis and Fariza Balk. It's directed by, it eventually ended up being directed by John Frankenheimer, and it was written by, co-written by a guy called Richard Stanley. He also started off as the director on this thing.
Right.
Ended up grossing $49 million on a budget of $40 million. So it was a pretty big flop.
Sounds it.
Richard Stanley, legend has it, he was an up and coming filmmaker. He'd done a couple of sort of fairly well regarded, weird, low budget movies in the sort of late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Bit of an up and comer. 1994, he managed to get a pitch with New Line Cinema.
Okay.
So at the time, they were sort of a new kids on the block.
Yeah,
they sort of built themselves on Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they were looking to sort of take the next steps. And Stanley went in, and apparently he took with him a great amount of sort of illustrations and basically delivered an awesome pitch.
Right.
That so impressed the studio that they gave him the job of directing this movie, The Island of Dr Moreau.
Right, okay.
And they helped him put together quite the team to sort of bring it together. So they got a guy called Michael Herr, who had been in the Vietnam. He'd been a news reporter in the Vietnam War, but he'd also helped work on Apocalypse Now and Full Metal Jacket.
Oh wow, two cracking films.
Yeah, so he was doing some work on the script. One of the producers, Ed Pressman, had worked on Badlands, Das Boot, Bad Lieutenant, all these sort of really, classic movies.
Yeah.
And because these guys had a relationship with Brando, they thought they could get him on board. And obviously he was a living legend at the time. So they thought if they could get him on, what could go wrong? What could go wrong?
It's notoriously easy to work with Marlon Brando.
Yeah, exactly. With all this sort of up and running, the first problem that Richard Stanley had was that Roman Polanski got wind of it and wanted to direct this instead. Well-known nice guy and not controversial at all. He was desperate to work with Brando, and so New Line got rid of Stanley and brought on Roman Polanski. Obviously, Richard Stanley wasn't happy about this, so he managed to set up a meeting on his own with Marlon Brando.
Right.
Now, he had two trump cards to play, I guess. And Stanley's, by an absolute quirk of coincidence, Stanley's great-grandfather was a guy called Henry Stanley, and he was allegedly the inspiration for Colonel Kurtz in Heart of Darkness, which is the book that Apocalypse Now was based on.
That is a small world.
So Brando kind of was quite intrigued by this. So obviously Stanley's thinking, if I can get Brando to say he'll do it, but he'll only do it if I'm directing, then I'll be back in here.
Yeah.
But the other thing that Richard Stanley did was employ the services of an English warlock to cast a spell.
What?
to cast a spell to ensure that Brando would sign on to this movie only if Stanley would direct. Apparently the warlock got his coven together, cut their arms, and drew magical sigils in blood.
What are you talking about?
At the same time that Stanley was going to Brando's house.
Right.
So they put a spell on him, basically.
So what's a warlock?
It's basically a man witch, isn't it?
Okay. That has blown my mind.
So, well, one thing worked, either the spell or the relationship, because Brando said he'd do the film, but only if Richard Stanley directed it.
So it worked.
So Stanley was back in.
Good for the warlock.
$40 million budget.
Yep.
Stan Winston's on board to do all the makeup and the visual effects.
Okay.
And they found their location in Australia.
Nice.
Not only that, Bruce Willis is signing on.
Bruce Willis is signing on as well. In the mid-90s. Yeah. That's like prime Willis.
Yeah. Bruce Willis is going to play Edward Douglas, who was basically the guy from the UN. He's like the inspector who stumbles on the island.
Okay.
Bruce Willis isn't in this film.
Right, what went wrong there?
Because just before it was due to start filming, he dropped out because he was going through a divorce with Demi Moore.
Right, okay.
And his lawyers recommended he shouldn't go and spend
maybe don't go to Australia.
6 months in Australia. So New Line thought, that's fine. We know a guy. He's Batman. Let's get Val Kilmer in.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Richard Stanley went and met Kilmer as he was doing his press tour for Batman Forever.
Yeah.
And Kilmer said he would do it, but he didn't want to be in the movie so much. In fact, he told Stanley that he would have to cut his screen time by 60%.
So he's like, I'll be in your movie, but I'm not being in your movie.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So this obviously meant that they would have to do a rewrite, but fine. They thought they'd try that.
Okay.
Then, tragically, before they started filming, Marlon Brando's daughter hung herself.
Oh, God.
And he went AWOL. You know, this was literally days before the movie was going to start filming, and no one knew where he was.
Right.
So the set's built, everyone's there.
But you've lost two of your stars now.
Yeah. Val Kilmer had arrived in Australia and decided he didn't want to play the role of the UN guy anymore. He now would only stay on set if he got the role of Dr Moreau's assistant instead.
Okay.
So they agreed to it. And the UN inspector role went to a guy called Rob Morrow, who I think is a Canadian actor.
Right.
He was he's most famous for a TV show called Northern Exposure, which I vaguely remember.
Oh, was that about Mounties?
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
So he's now in.
Right, he's in.
He's the third person to play this sort of UN inspector role.
But they've already cut the part down for Kilmer, and now they didn't need to.
So it's gone
that.
Bruce Willis, Val Kilmer, Rob Morrow.
Right.
And Kilmer's took a sidestep.
Okay.
And no one knows where
Marlon
Brando is. Stanley sort of said, he's quoted as saying, Val Kilmer's demands caused a lot of problems on this, but he would have never acted up if the studio hadn't kept saying yes to him. No one stood up to him, basically.
Right, just let him have whatever he wanted because he was Batman.
Yeah. So we've now got most of our people in Australia, apart from the big guy, and a load of other stuff then starts to happen to curse this thing.
Right.
So Stanley's personal assistant is bitten by a venomous spider.
Obviously.
The Warlock, back in London.
Yeah.
He's hospitalised with a bone disease.
Right.
And then gets infected by a flesh-eating parasite.
Okay. Is he on the payroll for the film?
No, but this is just related curses to do with this.
Right.
Stanley's mother's house was struck by lightning.
Get lost. No way.
Yeah. So this is all sort of...
This is what happens when you mess with the occult.
Chaos around this production. So Stanley thought, I feel I can... As long as I've got Brando, I'll be all right here because he's the golden ticket, isn't he?
Yeah.
But Brando's gone missing, so Stanley's feeling quite vulnerable. He knows the studio's watching over him. They've taken a risk giving him this project anyway. He's started doing rehearsals in the home that they've rented with a lot of the actors and actresses. They start filming, and within a couple of days, there's a hurricane. Floods most of the set.
No way.
Rob Morrow, remember him?
Yep.
In the middle of a howling rainstorm, is said to have used a ship's radio to contact his agent in Los Angeles and pleaded to get off the picture.
Oh no. Fucking hell.
So he's gone.
He's gone. He just goes.
Yeah.
So we've got no UN agent now.
Yeah, the studio lets him go. Eventually, they get David Thewlis in. He plays this role in this film.
Right. Okay. So the fourth choice plays the role.
So they're still missing Marlon Brando. They're trying to film it in between rebuilding the sets. I've got a quote here. It says, on the rare occasions any filming took place, Val Kilmer was rude and abrasive. During one scene, he reportedly sat on the ground and refused to stand up.
Jesus.
3 days. So 3 days into filming,
Yeah.
the producers stepped in, told the cast and the crew to down tools, and they sacked Richard Stanley.
It's not his fault.
I mean, there's a lot of things that have sort of convoluted at this point to play against this guy, but he's gone. Yeah, he's got the boot.
Right. Okay. 3 days in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Michael DeLuca, who we mentioned earlier, one of the producers.
Yeah.
We're in a very remote part in North Australia. Was so concerned that Stanley might try and stay involved that he gave a production assistant the job of escorting Stanley to the airport to ensure he got on a flight back to the States.
Blimey.
When the plane landed in Los Angeles the next day, guess who wasn't on it?
Richard Stanley.
Correct.
Why? Where was
Correct. Well, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
We'll come back to that.
he? Oh, I'm so intrigued by this story.
So they get in John Frankenheimer. You might be familiar with his name. I think he directed The French Connection too. You know, he was 65 at this point, so he's
Veteran.
bit of an old school guy. Yeah, a bit of a veteran, sort of a hard man reputation of bringing people into line. So they're just trying to look for anything on their money back at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, Brando finally arrives.
Right. Okay. He showed up now.
Do you want to know his typical working day?
Yeah, I'd love to.
So apparently he would arrive around 9 a.m.
Yep.
Go straight to his trailer. Frankenheimer would sort of follow him in, and they would sit and discuss the film in private.
Okay.
That would take a couple of hours. So around lunchtime, they'd come out and tour the set, and Brando would sort of suggest ideas that he had for improvement to the movie, and they would literally be rewriting the script as they walked around.
Gee.
So if you do watch this movie, you'll notice that Brando he's playing Dr Moreau, and his face is covered in thick white makeup. That wasn't in the original script. Brando insisted on that. He randomly wears an ice bucket on his head at times.
What?
That was Brando's insistence. And then
Was he just seeing what he could get away with?
I think so, basically. And then this was never in the original script, but anytime Moreau's on the screen, he never appears without an identically dressed midget.
What?
Because Brando took a shine to one of the extras. It's basically this. It's the original Mini Me. It's this little guy, 2 foot tall.
No way.
And
That's
yeah,
amazing.
He liked the guy, and he just hung around with him for the whole.
So he was just.
He's like, he's going to be in it next to me all the time.
And he is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's incredible. Imagine having that sort of power.
So this, it is also alleged, and I've read this on several places, but so I'm going to mention it. It's alleged that one of the Brando ideas that did not end up on screen was his suggestion that his character would wear an elaborate hat throughout the whole film, so you couldn't see his face. I guess like a beekeeper's type thing.
Yeah.
And then in the final scene, the hat would be removed, revealing him in a dramatic twist to have been a dolphin all along.
Oh, that's blown my mind. Why is that not in the script? That's amazing. Oh, this is incredible.
As I said, it's unbelievable.
It really is.
Unbelievable. And you think it can't get any weirder, and it just keeps going.
He wanted to be a dolphin. That's incredible. With a midget friend.
Yeah. So obviously they're changing the script sort of hour by hour.
Yeah.
And so no one bothered really learning any lines.
No point.
Yeah. But so Brando had his dialogue read aloud to him via an earpiece. But apparently sometimes the signal would get mixed up with a local police scanner. And David Thewlis tells a story that they were in the middle of shooting one scene, and Brando just starts shouting halfway through his dialogue, "There's a robbery going on at Woolworths."
I really hope that's true.
Me too. Me too.
I'm crying. Oh, this is an awesome story.
All the way through this, Val Kilmer's still being Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Basically, he wouldn't come out of his trailer until Brando had come out of his trailer. It's alleged that days and days would go past without them even managing to produce a single frame of usable footage.
Just because those two are too stubborn to get out of their trailers.
Yeah, and basically so all these extras in their sort of part man, part animal costumes are just sitting around getting drunk, doing drugs, playing games. So that's an absolutely crazy situation.
That's a ridiculous situation.
And in amongst all that, the studio kind of forgot about Richard Stanley.
Right. Oh yeah, because he's not at home.
No.
He never got on the plane.
So around a month after he didn't get off this plane,
yeah,
some of the extras found him living rough in the jungle.
What?
And he was apparently living on a fruit plantation where according to this, he'd been eating yams and coconuts and using his substantial personal stash of marijuana.
Oh my goodness.
He was quite keen to see how the movie was progressing.
Yeah.
So with the help of these extras, he concocted a plan to get back on the set.
Oh
the
my
extras
God.
managed to steal one of the costumes.
No way.
And Richard Stanley was basically Dogman number 3 for the rest of this movie.
So he's actually in the film?
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. No. Oh,
Undercover.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. What a hero.
He's quoted as saying, "Ultimately, I found it reassuring and psychologically helpful of spending time undercover because it made me realise it was a shambolic situation even without me, and it kind of wasn't my fault."
Yeah, so they sacked him for no reason and it didn't get any better afterwards. I love the fact that he's in the film. That's brilliant.
He says that one of the things he most remembers witnessing was that, and this is to bring this to a close now, there's just a little bit left.
Okay.
That because Frankenheimer had to spend so much time trying to corral Brando and Val Kilmer, that he gave a lot of the sort of general directing setup and a lot of the scenes that those two weren't in to a guy called Peter Elliott, who was actually the animal behaviour specialist on set.
Right.
So it just so happens though that Elliot was playing one of these animal hybrids.
Yeah.
He was a baboon. So basically you had the sight of this little baboon man with a loudhailer in a Hawaiian jacket directing this movie.
Oh my God.
And no one could really understand what he was saying because of his makeup. So half the time people just didn't do what he wanted.
That is an insane story.
It's absolutely crazy.
I've never heard any of that either. I can't believe I've never heard of that.
So, well, you've got a couple of options because not only can you go and watch the movie itself,
yeah,
but it is such a crazy story that if you want to on Amazon, there is a documentary about the making of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Lost Soul. So I would highly recommend it. I watched it quite a while ago now, but it is an absolutely crazy story.
I'm going to watch both.
I'm
definitely going to watch the film just to try and see what the hell's going on.
Richard Stanley actually last year released his first feature film since he didn't direct.
No, really?
The Island of Dr Moreau.
That long later? 25
I guess
years
he was in
later.
it.
Who? Don't say Val
Nicolas
Kilmer. I
Cage.
was saying Val Kilmer. Nicolas Cage is in it. What's the film called?
Yeah. Colour Out of Space.
I've heard of that.
It was a H.P. Lovecraft adaptation.
Have I seen that? I might have even seen it.
I think we may have talked about the trailer once.
Yeah, it's the name's really familiar. I don't think I have seen it, but the name's familiar.
We might have mentioned it with the Grief Burrito Boys at some point.
Yeah, possibly.
So
Maybe that's where I'm
it.
recognising it from.
When that came out last year, Stanley said, it wanted to be the first in a trilogy of Lovecraft adaptations, and it got some really good reviews. However, just to round this off, in March of this year, so a couple of months ago, A screenwriter named Scarlett Amaris, who'd collaborated with Stanley on several projects, alleged that he was physically, sexually, emotionally, financially abusive to her, and she had filed a complaint with the French law enforcement agency. Another former partner of Stanley has also reported abuse. Spectrovision, who produced Colour Out of Space, announced it would no longer work with him, and that all future revenue from the movie will be donated to anti-domestic violence charities.
That is crazy.
The case is currently ongoing.
So it took him 25 years to get to make a film, and then he fucked it. Literally.
Yeah.
That has blown my mind, Nick. That is incredible.
What a tale.
That's amazing. I'm definitely going to watch the film. I'm definitely going to watch the documentary. Colour Out of Space is also on Amazon Prime if you want to watch that. Wow. I don't even know what to say. That's just insane.
Yeah, it is an absolute twist after twist of a tale.
It really is. It's just, it never stopped. I felt like you were just going to do like 10 minutes and it would just be a few crazy stories, but they just kept building and building, and you've done like 25 minutes on it.
Insane.
Mental.
There you go.
Excellent.
Told you get more content.
Good first edition of the deep dive. I enjoyed that. I don't think you're ever going to top that one.
We'll see. There's plenty more we can look into. So
excellent. I enjoyed that, Nick. Well done. Good work.
Good.
I suppose we should get out of here. This is going to be the longest wave so far. And the idea of splitting into two was that I'd love less editing to do, not more.
Let's wave goodbye. We got a movie to talk about.
Let's go and talk about Urge, and the episode for that will be out on Thursday.
Cheers.
Bye.